The perspective, like we talked about, shifting our point of perception. If we can really look at the situation as impartially as possible between us and the other person, who would you give it to? You know, it's like, that's one kind of exercise we can go through. And ultimately, as we fully realize that this sense of self is an illusion, kind of, you know, this isn't really what's here, that self becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, that self-interest, because we're learning how to depend upon something much more reliable, learning how to depend upon what's really trustworthy and lasting. And then the whole, like this whole kind of system of instincts and, you know, like desires and aversions and everything starts to lose its kind of center place focus. and we really can start making decisions based more on the good of all of the beings involved, including ourselves, more on an equal plane. So, you know, we can have the experience of the self giving the self preferential treatment, like maybe your friend, or we can have the idea that I have to like deny myself all the time, which is also not healthy. So I don't know if either of, you know, if that kind of helps, you know, just like, what would I do if I was also just another person who really should be going first here, or getting this, or whatever. And that's one way. And I think it is important to find times when you really are supporting your own being. Perhaps think about the ways that are important for it to be supported. It certainly just isn't getting the bigger piece. It's in, you know, like, what are the things that are important to support this body and mind? And then going to bat for yourself, you know, like really being there for yourself to ensure as much as possible that that's happening. Sort of more self-compassion. Maybe we could even look at self-respect. Instead of always the perspective being, I go last, or I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing either, but it's a better practice for someone who's always tried to put themselves first.
Yeah, right.
And so this is about balance, you know, it really is about balance, and letting go of the attachment that we have to whatever it is, the craving and the fears that keep us bound by wanting to have the right conditions or the material support or whatever it is, and making sure that there is, you know, like, what would be wonderful is if we could all think this way, if we could all think about the general good and about everyone on the earth, making sure they have the requisites. And, you know, like, if we really could be that selfless and still caring for self, like in the same way we would care for everyone else, caring for everyone else the way we would care for ourselves.